Mia balanced a tray full of steaming coffee mugs with the precision of someone who'd been doing it far too long. The smell of burnt toast, frying bacon, and cheap coffee clung to her uniform like a second skin. It was well past midnight, and most sane people were asleep. But the Moonlight Diner didn't sleep. It buzzed on, its neon sign flickering in uneven intervals like it was breathing through exhaustion. Mia wished she could rest too. She delivered the tray to a booth of truckers, offering a tired but genuine smile. They smiled back politely. No trouble. She liked truckers. They were easy. Pay, eat, leave. But the three men in booth 12. They were a nightmare wrapped in leather jackets and cheap aftershave. They had swaggered in an hour ago, loud and obnoxious from the second the bell above the door jingled. They reeked of alcohol and arrogance. The type of men who thought disrespect was flirtation. Hey waitress, one of them barked, slamming an empty mug on the table like a judge delivering a sentence. Mia approached cautiously. Another coffee, only if you bring it with a smile, sweetheart, the bearded one sneered, licking his lips slowly as if trying to intimidate her. She forced the smallest curve of her mouth. Not a smile, just enough to avoid confrontation. But when she reached for his mug, his hand shot out and clamped around her wrist like a vice. Come on, he drawled, earn that tip. Her pulse spiked. She tried to tug her hand free, but his grip only tightened. His friends leaned back, laughing like they were watching crime entertainment. Let me go, Mia said softly. Firm, controlled. She'd dealt with creeps before. This was nothing new, but something in her voice betrayed how close she was to panic. The man leaned in, breath sour with whiskey. Make me. Across the diner, conversations went quiet. Eyes flickered toward the scene, then quickly looked away. No one wanted to get involved. Not even Tom, the cook, a man in his 60s who had practically raised her in this place. His hand hovered over the counter like he might intervene, but he didn't move. Mia yanked her arm harder. I said let go. Oh, one of the other thugs mocked, she's got fire. That's when fear snapped. I'm calling the police, she said, voice shaking but determined. The man finally released her, only to laugh. Loud, cruel, you think they'll come running because a waitress got her feelings hurt? Mia stepped back, clutching her wrist. Her throat burned with humiliation and rage. The bell above the door jingled. She didn't look immediately. She was too focused on steadying her breathing. But when she glanced up, and saw 6 massive men in leather vests stride in, her heart stopped. Their boots thudded against the checkered floor. Their jackets bore the same emblem, a snarling wolf wrapped in chains beneath steel-stamped words. Iron Vipers Motorcycle Club. They didn't sit. They didn't speak. They just looked. At the thugs. Then at her. And everything in the room shifted. The leader of the bikers didn't move with bluster or wild aggression. He didn't roar or threaten. He simply walked forward with a calm that was far more terrifying than rage. His boots thudded softly against the linoleum floor as he stopped beside booth 12. He placed one gloved hand on the back of the thug's seat. Is there a problem here? He asked, not loudly, but with a gravel-deep voice that seemed to vibrate through the walls. The bearded thug leaned back, trying to appear relaxed. But Mia saw it, the slight stiffening in his shoulders. Even he could feel the shift in power. Nah, he said with a fake grin, waving dismissively. Just talking to the lady. She likes the attention. Hawk, the name stitched on the biker's vest, slowly turned. His head toward Mia, his eyes held no impatience, no accusation. Just one question. That silent tell me the truth. Mia straightened. No, she said clearly. I don't. There it was. Out loud. Final. The entire diner froze. Hawk's fingers curled slightly over the booth's wood. Stand up. The thug scoffed. You serious? I wasn't asking, Hawk replied, still calm. Still deadly. One of the other thugs, a tall, lanky one, stood abruptly, puffing up his chest like a rooster. Why don't you back off before? The sentence never finished. Hawk moved like lightning. One moment he was still. The next, he had the lanky thug twisted around, one arm behind his back, cheek pressed into the wall so hard the man gasped in pain. Chairs scraped, plates rattled, people held their breaths. The rest of the biker crew spread across the diner, silent but unmistakably ready. One of them leaned casually against the door, blocking the exit with his sheer bulk. Another crossed his arms near the counter, watching like a silent hawk. The remaining thug, the ringleader, stood now, though shakily. He tried to muster defiance. You can't just walk in here and... Hawk loosened his grip slightly, just enough for the pinned thug to breathe. Then he looked at the leader. If you lay a hand on a woman in front of me, Hawk said, voice low, you don't walk out. No shouting, no theatrics, just truth. The pin thug whimpered. His earlier bravado had dissolved into raw panic. Hawk released him. The man collapsed into the booth, rubbing his arm as though it might have snapped. Get up, Hawk ordered. This time, they didn't argue. They scrambled, tripping over each other as they bolted toward the exit. One stumbled, nearly face-planting before recovering and sprinting out the door. The bell above the entrance clanged wildly as it swung. Silence followed like a blanket. No one moved. The bikers didn't celebrate. They didn't high-five or gloat. They simply resumed breathing. Hawk turned back to Mia. You okay? She swallowed. Yeah, now I am. Good. He nodded as if that settled it. Then he glanced at an empty booth. Coffee. Black. 6 cups. Mia blinked, stunned, then let out a laugh she hadn't expected. Coming right up. The tension in the diner slowly dissolved like steam off a hot plate. Mia brought the coffees over one by one, her hands steadier now that the danger had passed. The bikers sat crammed into booth 3, shoulders pressed together like armored walls. Despite their intimidating size, they behaved with surprising politeness, lifting their mugs with care, wiping the table with their sleeves when a few drops spilled. Mia couldn't help but smile. You boys want anything to eat? She asked. One of them, bald, tattooed, with a beard that could hide small wildlife, raised his hand sheepishly. You got pie, all kinds, she replied. Ma'am, he said reverently, I'll take whatever kind scares my doctor the most. The table erupted in laughter. Real laughter, warm, unrestrained, the kind that made people in nearby booths exhale in relief. Mia cut 6 generous slices of pecan pie and brought them over. One of the bikers, young-looking, with a scar across his eyebrow, opened his mouth to thank her but paused, noticing the faint bruise blooming around her wrist. His smile faded. Which one grabbed you? He asked quietly. Mia blinked. Doesn't matter. They're gone. It matters to me, he said. Before he could stand, Hawk placed a firm hand on his shoulder. We handled it. The younger biker hesitated, then nodded. Mia felt a strange warmth rise in her chest. Not romance, not fantasy. Respect, protection, something rare. She leaned against the counter as they ate, listening to them bicker about which truck stop had the best pancakes and which one of them snored loudest on road trips. They weren't villains or saints. They were just men who refused to look away when others did. As the clock neared closing time, chairs were flipped onto tables. The last customers slipped out with quiet nods of gratitude toward the bikers. Mia approached their booth hesitantly. You don't have to stay any longer. I'm okay. Hawk stood, digging into his pocket. Not staying because we have to, he said, placing a metal card on the table. He slid it toward her. It was cold and heavy, engraved steel, the Iron Viper's emblem etched deep. A phone number beneath. You ever need help, he said, you don't dial 911. You dial that. Mia turned the card in her hand. You guys give these to everyone you rescue. Only the ones we like, Hawk replied. She laughed softly. Lucky me. Hawk's mouth lifted into the smallest of smiles. He headed toward the door, the others following. Engines roared to life one by one outside, headlights flooding through the windows. The ground trembled beneath her feet. But before climbing onto his motorcycle, Hawk looked back. Lock your doors, he called. Yes, sir, she replied in mock salute. The bikers rolled out in formation, red taillights glowing like embers as they vanished into the night. Mia stood there alone, holding the steel card against her chest. She wasn't just a waitress tonight. She was someone worth defending. And now, she had an army on call.